let's get back to water. Water is energy in motion, but where you need to understand is, because it is energy in motion, unless it is in harmony with the human body, then it will bring chaos into the human body. So everything is about vibration. Everything is about frequency. And remember that all frequencies create emotion. So it's like this, everybody out there. First, you have a frequency, okay? And that frequency will create emotion. And then what does the E stand for in emotion? It stands for energy. So it's energy in motion. So then what happens? Energy in motion creates an experience. So believe it or not, everything you do creates an experience in your life. And that's why we're made of water. So if you want to have a beautiful experience, you want to get structured water. But let's take it a little further. So we know that energy in motion, okay, creates experiences. Those experiences repeated create habits in the human body. Those habits then create what we call memory, muscle memory. And that's what's creating all the disease today. So between the frequency of the water you take in, the frequency of your emotions, otherwise your belief systems that you don't know that you're running in your subconscious mind, because where the mind goes, the body follows. And that's why we have so much corruption in our mind, and because we have been downloaded belief systems, and those belief systems, we don't even know we're running. Like this, we have the same argument with our families. We go and we buy bottled water, and we know it's not good for us. We drink directly from the tap, and we're not willing to spend a few $100s to get a structure unit because there's belief systems in our mind that tell us that we have very little value. When somebody says they can't afford a structure unit, then they can't afford to live. And that means that they have such low value, low self-esteem. And when you've been raised to believe that you have no value, then you have poverty consciousness, which means that you are going to stop yourself from loving yourself. And the big issue here is the main step you'll ever make in your life is to learn that you need to love yourself first and foremost before anyone or anything else. You need to honor, respect, and protect and forgive yourself first and foremost before anything else. And if we can do that, then we will be abundant, because in this planet of ours, we keep thinking we lack water. Well, for one thing, it's a closed system. The same water that was here 1 million years ago is here today. We'll never run out of water. The problem is that we have lack consciousness, and that's been programmed into us. So we never have to worry about that. You take a look at a fruit tree, all right? You can't even eat the fruit that the tree produces every year. We have abundance on this planet, and as soon as we have abundant thinking, remember that people that are in pain are people that talk about it all the time. People that are depressed are people that talk about being depressed, and they focus on depressing things. People that are happy, they're usually smiling. They have a deep breath, and they look at things on a brighter light. So we need to gravitate to those things. Eventually what we're going to find is man and woman will come to the point, because we're coming to the cliff now. If you take a look at it, we are a nation of inflammation. We have 80% of the population is now pre-diabetic. We have 70% of the population now has autoimmune disease. We know that 1 out of 2 people in every family will have cancer. And all of this is because there's a raging fire within us, physically and emotionally, because we're in a society right now of conflict and anxiety. And I'm going to tell you something. Whenever you've got a fire, you better bring a fire hose. And if you're going to do it, you better bring structured water so that you can bring structure to your mind, to your body, to your cells, because that's what it does. When you structure water, it takes the chaos away. And what it does is it organizes it and brings it up to a healing frequency. So, Clayton's talking about it bringing in nutrition and toxins, but there's even something higher than that. There's a higher consciousness that comes in and actually organizes the chaos on a mental level.
Wow, that's a mouthful. You know, I want to say this is so important, all the information, and I know I've had a few short, not long enough conversations with you, Daryl, just about the importance of people understanding how they can change and really master any dis-ease or imbalance in their system. Is just a commitment and knowing the tools to use and getting the proper guidance on how to use them. And I know you do a lot of different programs and teachings and trainings all over the world for people to just really have a better way of doing things for themselves, helping themselves, like Clayton does. And I know just looking at your website, which, by the way, I recommend everybody go and take a look at docofdetox.com and look to see what this gentleman is up to. He's quite the crusader. So talk a little bit more about some of the examples that you've seen in people becoming better hydrated and the difference in their health and well-being.
Well, if I can, let's talk about where the real problem lies, okay?
Okay.
If you don't like something, then you're not going to hydrate it at all, are you?
That's right.
Okay, so let's take a look at the population. The reason why the population, everybody hasn't vibrated to a structured water unit is first of all, you have to first admit that you are asleep and then awaken and then realize that you've never truly loved yourself enough to embrace something high vibrational. So what we usually do is we honor the family curse. And whether people want to believe it, take a look in your family and you'll find out that your family is highly dysfunctional, that your family holds love ransom, that they play games with themselves. Take a look at the average person. We know things that aren't good for us, but I'm telling you right now that 9,999 people out of 10,000 today are running hate programs for themselves, and they're running destructive programs for themselves because they don't realize that they're supposed to love themselves first and foremost and totally. We were created by universal consciousness that is total love. We came down here and said we're going to lose our heart and soul and even our spirit, but we're going to rise from the ashes and we're going to claim that back, and that's the name of the game. And if you take a look, we've never been in a society that abuses itself so much, because you would never find all this disease. Meanwhile, we're supposed to be, learning so much, and there's so much information out there, and we've never been so sick. The thing is that people are never going to gravitate to Clayton's structured water unit until they let love in, because you can only allow yourself to do to the measurement of what you love yourself. And that's really what the bottom line is, we need to let people know that it's okay to love yourself. We've been raised to believe we can't. And even just starting to get people to drink this water, believe it or not, will create a shift in them. So yes, the water can help to create a physiological shift, because energy can change the body on a physiological level and on an energy level, But if you take a look, you'd have to break away from all the systems, because all the systems out there, whether you're talking about the dental system, the medical system, whether you're talking about your government, whether you're talking about all the food corporations, they're all corrupt. They're all corrupt. So unless you're going to break away from that and then realize that you are a beautiful soul and that you deserve everything and that whatever you focus on, you're going to get it. So as far as the water goes, well, we just won't use anything but the structured water. I tell people that if you're worried about the toxins in the water, fine, get yourself a filter unit. But I don't care if you spend $10,000 for it, because unless you're structuring the water, you're not bringing up the vibration, because structured water holds more light than anything else, and we are light beings. We know that hydration is the key, and you can tell people to drink water, and you can even give them all the information. but until they embrace the fact that they worth it and they deserve it, you know, is really, really an issue, because people have issues in their tissues. And a lot of people, they have a certain measurement of suffering that they need to do every day. So the biggest thing that I try to teach people is that that they're running beliefs. You know, just like people can't wrap their head around the structuring because it's too simple. Now I'll tell you why Clayton's units aren't going to become what they need to become, but they will eventually, because people only learn on this planet through pain. So you have to understand something. The medical system has made health and healing so corrupt. I mean, I have people calling me every day, and I never had this 10 years or even 15 years ago. They forgot that their body heals themselves. They forgot that they were created by God and that anybody can be their own practitioner and heal themselves. They are so full of fear, and it's got to be so difficult to heal yourself, and then you've got to go through all this pain and torture of drugs and chemo and radiation and surgery. How could you ever buy some little plastic, not plastic, but how can you buy any type of unit that isn't super costly, and there's nothing to explain except it's the natural action of higher consciousness that is already in the laws of nature. So people can't wrap their head around this, because everything in life is meant to be so confusing, and that only a select few have the brain to figure out how to make you healthy. You know, people, I'm going to tell you something. I have people that come to me and they have autoimmune disease, they have lupus, they have Lyme, they have cancer, and I tell them that if we can just get rid of the corruption in their life on all levels and bring in water and then bring in the laws of nature and the laws of love, that they are the miracle. So that's the reality right there, Corinne. You know, we don't have to overload people with supplements. We need to get them, you know, as close to nature as possible. And that's why when we look at Clayton's water, the structured water, it is nature. It's nature, whether you're in the city, whether you're in a condo, whether you're in an apartment. So it's all about returning back to the laws of nature. And once we embrace that, because we have to return back to nature. If we don't, then we will never have harmony or balance, and we'll only have chaos in our life.
Yes.
Yes.
Aho. Well
Yes.
said.
Yes. Well said.
And I would like to mention, this is, we had technical difficulties at the beginning of the call, and I had a caller let me know that we didn't hear Clayton's description of structured water. And so throughout this discussion, it would be great if we could talk about just the aspects of structured water and how that enters into how it enters into helping support everything that you just spoke about, Daryl.
Well, it's like this. It's as simple as pie. You know, I'm going to tell you something, Corinne. I want everybody to think about this out there and give it just a little bit of thought, okay? You can't digest the truth, but you can definitely take in all the lies now. Think about it. People will watch the news and they'll believe everything that is totally insane. They'll believe that the world is ending because it's on the news. And then when we have somebody like Clayton, okay, who's as far as I'm concerned, as close to pure as the driven snow, and then they can't swallow the truth because the truth is just too simple, because everything is complicated out there. So let's make it really simple for people to understand. If you were to actually, when you eat, if you were to get connected to your breath and your breathing and be in a very calm, peaceful state, and you were to take in any food into your mouth, you would first say to yourself, will this give me life, or will this destroy me, or will this bring my vibration down? Okay, is this alive? And is this in a pre-digested form? And then once you take it into your mouth, then you